quick get this out to everybody. So I'm back, and we're gonna go copy a link, and we're gonna go to Facebook. Okay, so then okay, I'm back. I'm back. So hey everybody, hanging out, just kind of whatever. Gonna wait. Hi, whoever is the first person here in chat, whoever it is. Anyway, I hope it's a blue wrench. Just hanging out, talk a little bit about the Sparrow scoop from yesterday. Here's what's going on as far as I'm concerned. I don't think the Sean Levy thing is Kathleen Kennedy. I think it's him. From what I've been able to discern, he did not want to be part of Kennedy's Star Wars stuff. And he pretty much is distancing himself even from the Skywalker saga. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Frank has not posted on Instagram in days. I mean, since after the fire started. And as you know, they do own a house up in the Palisades. I think the house is safe, but I don't know. I hope it is. I don't wish that fire on anybody. I really, really don't. It was just, the damage to property is just catastrophic. So there's that. And then the Star Wars news, they've got a new writer, George Nolfi, for the Rey movie, the fake Rey movie. And, that's never going to happen. And I really wish that Kennedy would stop trying. That's her, by the way. Still thinking she's relevant. I want to point you guys to something. Did you notice when you're watching Skeleton Crew that Kyle Ron's mask isn't on it? It's not on that, which I think is fascinating. What else? Okay, February 5th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I can't even think anymore. Disney is going to have their financial first quarter financial report, and again, it probably won't be anything. I'm gonna watch it, and if anything, I'm gonna have notebook on there, and if they talk about anything that's important to this channel, I will write it down to explain, to give you guys my views. So that's all the Disney news. They were kind of losing ground on the stock market and then came back. I don't know why. And I want to address the black pill blobs right now. In another place, one of their friends decided that he would say that, because the rumor is that Disney's now concentrating all of its money and resources to Marvel, and that they should just kill Star Wars. This is why, if you're a member of the big channels, you know who they are. Not a grandma. Fuck you, Zavi. Go suck your boyfriend's dick. There, you start that shit, you get bounced, okay? I'm not here for this. Anyway, they're saying shit like that, and I'm literally like, why? If you're a fan, why would you say that? Why would you say something like that? Because they're not fans. Look, when Jeremy Griggs at Geeks and Gamers confessed that he wasn't a Star Wars fan to begin with, it was like, then why are you even talking about it? Okay, it's a money thing that they do, and they've got to keep It's the controversy makes money for them. Okay, the more controversy they have, the more money they make, and they don't care if they're telling the truth. I mean, I'm sorry, but when you tell everybody you liked The Last Jedi, and you suddenly looked around and everybody hated it, you're not getting people to watch your, I thought it was a good movie, stupid videos. Of course you're going to change your mind. All right? Because you don't care about being authentic. And, I just have a little channel, but I have never wavered once from supporting George Lucas and his vision, and I've never wavered once from seeking justice for what J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy, Roundhead Johnson, Pablo Hidalgo, his miserable wife, Matt Martin, and I mean the entire group of assholes have done to Lucasfilm. I mean, personnel is policy. That's something that everybody in Washington, D.C. knows. And it's a rule. If you want your vision to be put forward, you get people that share that vision, okay? Whether you be a congresswoman or a congressman, a senator, president of the United States, CEO, managing editor of a blog or a news website, or, a movie studio. And when you have people that work for you that are not in keeping with your vision, and they the moment you're gone, they start tearing everything apart. The faith in the product is gone. Okay, faith in the product is gone. Or you change the product, and let's say they do that. Okay, so they change it. We could do the 1980s New Coke versus Old Coke. And what a horrible, horrible mistake the Coca-Cola company made in changing their recipe for their soda. Okay, and the reason why they did it is because it was a marketing thing, and they wanted to get up against, they wanted to, get some of Pepsi's fan base. And I have to admit, I don't like Pepsi products. I think that Pepsi and Diet Pepsi is just disgusting. And when I did drink Diet Coke, I drank that exclusively. But, the new Coke didn't work. It just didn't work, and they had to get rid of it. And that's what is the erasing of the sequel trilogy and revamping and rebooting it, I think, is inevitable. Okay. You can have people like WDW Pro, or, Star Wars Explained and whatever, scream that's too much money for them to get rid of it. It's like, no, it's not. It's not too much money. It's not. All they have to do is say, this is the timeline. This is in a dual timeline. This is not canon. Turn it into Legends. Do something with it. Because then, and make it transparent. Again, ask anybody. You can ask Cameron. You can ask Polly, a Mexican Iron Man, anybody out there. And they will say that Steph wants transparency. She wants to know exactly what's going on so she can make the right choice. And I think that Disney, as far as Lucasfilm goes, should tell us what they're doing, because I don't feel comfortable with any of it right now. I really, really don't. I kind of sit there and go, this is not what we are hoping for. We would like to know what exactly that you're doing. Keeping things a secret, like, Kennedy's situation is asinine. And again, like I've said before, Fans like us, people here on this channel, are caught between the black pills and the black pill blobs and the Star Wars explained gangsters. Okay. They're all a bunch of grifters. They're not fans. They do it for the money. And they've, one side has got the narrative. Star Wars is dead. Gary Nerdrotic. They won't give anything decent a chance, like a Skeleton Crew. Okay. Then you've got Star Wars Explained that supports the shit, the absolute fucking dumpster fire of the sequel trilogy, of the emasculation of Han Solo in Solo, a Soy War story, the Trashalite. Okay. And it's like you're sitting there going, you know, I just can't do this anymore. You know, you can like Ahsoka and not like Sabine. You can like Ahsoka and not like Harrison Dula or her son. You know, they're superfluous characters. Okay, they're not needed. Okay, you can like Kenobi and not like Reva or her subplot. And it's not that her subplot's bad. Her subplot is just not well written. And, you know, the woman can't act. Now, Rosario Dawson's a great actress, all right? She knows what she's doing. Moses Ingraham, Amanda Stenberg can't act. Doesn't matter if they're black, they can't act. You know, why should a movie studio hire mediocrity because of their skin color? Because, you know, they have to. It's bullshit. Okay, and, you know, we're seeing the death of that kind of attitude, at least in the federal government. I mean, hey, you know, Target is eliminating DEI and catering to Pride Month. They're not going to do that anymore. Okay, put out a letter saying they're not doing it anymore. Many companies across the board are doing that. I envision Hollywood pretending to care about DEI, spending money on offices and for window dressing only. All right, not letting the people that are inside of those offices, not giving them a toehold, because it's, you know, the only reason why those offices are there is to keep a small minority of angry activists silent. Okay. Even though I kind of like the idea of eliminating the offices, exposing the activists, and then firing the activists. There. I think that's a good thing. When you look at, like, I'll give you an example of DEI just not working out. Didn't earn it. Okay. Carrie Hart. She was one of the producers on The Last Jedi. She approved the first draft. It got to Kennedy, and that's what they filmed. All right. All right, so you got Carrie Hart. And she was also one of the producers on Solo, a Soy War story. Then about August or September of 2018, her picture disappeared from the leadership of Lucasfilm. And we learned that they fired her. She was black. She was a DEI hire. And Kennedy, instead of taking her lumps, taking blame for it, threw that girl under the bus. Okay, so it's like, you know, you kind of go, okay, but that's what happens. All right, so we've got a woman named Rain Roberts. If you've come onto this channel, you know, talked about her. She used to be in the Lucasfilm leadership. Just a second. Excuse me. It's cold here, and I feel like I'm coming down with the cold every once in a while, and today's one of those days. Ray Roberts was part of the group that created the Acolyte, and now she's gone. She went to Searchlight Pictures. She was a senior vice president, so she actually failed upwards, but she's gone. Okay, and the rumors were, the story from Sparrow was she did not get along with John Favreau or Dave Filoni. Okay, which, I mean, if you saw her, you'd understand why. She was a DEI hire, and they were probably telling her, you can't do that in Star Wars, and she got mad. Okay, so there's that. What else? Really, I mean, it's just that the Sean Levy story and him it coming out that he wants, or whatever, wants Ryan Gosling to be in a Star Wars movie. Now, again, I've said that he has tried to distance himself, especially when Kennedy tried to hijack his movie for Rey, that it is not part of the Skywalker saga, and he has tried to distance himself from the sequel trilogy, which is interesting to me, considering how many people out there want to believe the sequel trilogy was this thing that everybody liked. You know, no, we didn't. We hated it. It sucked. All right. It should be all the copies of the physical copies of all three movies should be, taken to a large open meadow, poured cans of gasoline on them, and set on fire. They should be taken off of Disney Plus, never to be seen again. They're lousy. No, actually, they aspire to be lousy. You look at the money that was spent on them, and you kind of come up with what Disney probably net. And it's tragic. It's like, they didn't earn any money. They have anything. So there's that. And we've got, really, there's nothing going on. I mean, I'm, it's quiet. Frank Marshall hasn't posted anything on Instagram in a long time. Ever since the fires hit after the fires hit the Palisades. And hopefully, their house there is safe. I don't think the one they recently sold is safe. Because that looked to be on the other side of the valley, and where it got just devastated. But I don't know. So there's what is going on? Okay. We've got, the black pill blobs lying about Disney wanting to save Marvel, and quote unquote having given up on Star Wars. Fuck you, okay? I'm so sick of failed travel agents and insurance salesmen and people who are not investigative reporters, who just take other people's information and say they found it out, and running around saying this, and this. It's not true. The fact the money is gone, instead of going, well, they don't want to spend it, why don't you ask where Kennedy spent the money? Because that's where that money went. Billions lost because of her. Okay, billions. All right, $300 million to make the Acolyte, and nobody saw $300 million up on the screen. Nobody did. Okay, you look at like the Book of Boba Fett. Where'd that money go? All right, and in that movie or TV show, was it sort of vanilla and blah because of the fact the writer and Kennedy meddling all the time? The Eye of Sauron was all over the place, and Robert Rodriguez, the showrunner, really couldn't tell her to back the fuck off like Jon Favreau could? I mean, is that what's really going on here? So you kind of wonder about that. And there you go. I mean, I'm, just going, it's been too quiet. You're not, these black pill blobs aren't looking at what's going on in the right way. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know how movies are made. They don't realize that all of Hollywood is suffering right now. I mean, President Trump said, we will help you. And now they're complaining about the conditions. First off, use the water you have. You have water. Second of all, you need voter ID. And, that's a hill to die on. And they're trying to be defiant, but Hollywood and all of California is hurting because of the kind of malfeasance that's been running Lucasfilm. Okay? It is malfeasance. Kennedy, where'd that money go? Did she pocket some? Was there what? Did she give Sam Bankman-Fried a few $1 million? Or a couple billion? I mean, what the fuck? Okay, so I kind of sit back and I'm watching very carefully again. And what? This week or when is the 5th? Today's 28th. I think next week, Wednesday is the 5th of February is the Disney first quarter call. And it's at 8:30 in the morning. And who knows what they're going to be able to tell people in the first quarter. I don't really look at it as being something that is going to be big or huge. It's going to be more of the same like we always get. The last time we actually had a really interesting quarterly report from Bob Iger, where he was talking about what they were doing, was 2 years ago. All right. And he tends to play everything close to the vest, so I don't know. But do I expect to hear more from Sparrow in the coming days? Yes, I do. We've got Star Wars celebration coming up in Tokyo in April. We've got the South by Southwest Film Festival with Alan Bergman, who's the Iger's guy to head the movies, going to that with Josh D'Amaro. Okay, don't know what that means. Here's the thing about Alan Bergman, and I'm going to let you guys leave. I'm going to turn this off. Alan Bergman went on Vulture, that fan culture page, Vulture, and was quoted as saying, first off, The Acolyte was aware we wanted it to give it another season, which is code for it sucked, nobody liked it, and we're not giving it a second season. PU. Okay. Then he went on to say that the money isn't there for a lot of things we would like to do with Star Wars right now. And, he didn't come out and blame Kathleen Kennedy for wasting money, but, it was implied. Okay, it was implied. He basically said the only movie that we're making, Star Wars movie that we're making, is Mando and Grogu. Okay, and it's got to be a hit. All right, and I think it will be. The next live action thing they're having come out is Ahsoka season 2. And this is, all right, if you're a newbie here, you didn't hear this, so I'm going to tell it. Sparrow basically told Cameron that the first part of Ahsoka season 2 is going to be spent mostly on Peridia, with Anakin is going to be there. The second part of season 2 is going to reshape the timeline to erase the sequels. Okay, now I'm gonna give you a theory. There are two characters in the deep lore. If you haven't watched Clone Wars, do the Mortis arc. Okay, I think it's season 3. Ghosts of Mortis, the Altar of Mortis. Hey, Planet Musk Vlog, how you doing? And then the Mortis gods or something like that. The gods of the Force, I can't remember. That's the arc. Okay. Then you have to go back into the EU to find a character named Aboleth. Now, I've talked about Aboleth before, but here's the story. Aboleth was a human woman. Hi, Liam. And she became the mother of the father, the Mortis gods, father, son, and daughter. Okay, the father's the balance of the Force, the son's the dark side, the daughter's the light side. And she became their mother. And as she got older, she noticed that her family wasn't aging. But apparently there's supposed to be wills of some kind, or some sort of elevated Force wielder on the level of wills. I can, that's information that is very murky. So she goes to, I think it's a pool of knowledge, which is very Greco-Roman mythology thing, and takes a bath in it, and turns out to be this hideous monster. I mean, I've done videos on it. She's a freak, and everywhere she goes, she causes chaos, and she can change timelines. Now her son, the son, at the end of the Ghost of Mortis, the father gets the dagger of Mortis, which accidentally killed the daughter in the previous episode, away from the son, and is looking at him, and he's got it like set. It's gonna say commit seppuku, which is Japanese for suicide. And if he takes his life, he says, "I can take your power." And so he does, and the son goes and embraces him, goes, "Don't die, blah, blah, blah." And the thing that kills the daughter and the father is the dagger of Mortis. Anakin shivs the son through with his lightsaber, with the Skywalker lightsaber. So my theory is that the light in Ahsoka that you see emanating from that peak that Balin Skull is looking at is either Aboleth or the sun. Now, it could be Aboleth is already loose because of all the chaos going on in the galaxy right now. Or it could be the sun wanting to cause chaos. Now, the sun is a shapeshifter. I mean, he could, let's say like Leia is sitting in her the library, and they're a penthouse apartment on Coruscant, and Han walks in, and they're having a pleasant conversation, and all of a sudden she's like, he's acting really weird, he's not, and it's not him, it's the sun. The sun can be Qui-Gon Jinn. The son can turn himself into Anakin Skywalker's mother, Shmi. He can turn himself into Padme Amidala. He can turn himself into looking just like Luke Skywalker. He can be a doppelganger of Anakin. Okay, that's his thing. And he could want to go loose, but then you've got, why does Balin Skull, he's got an instrument on his wrist that has an Aubrish, which is the writing in the basic, it's called basic, Aubrish is basic, for the galaxy, and the name's Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia Organa Solo, and Ben. It just says Ben. Um, and I mean, people notice that, and I've talked about it. So, what is going on here? And if it is Aboleth, and she's not loose yet, but then you've got Ahsoka on Peridia. You've got Anakin in the World Between Worlds. He's basically taking, as was his destiny, in the gods of Mortis, um, when the father says, I'm dying and I need you to stay here and keep my son and daughter in balance. Because they basically tricked Anakin and forced him into using the Force to make the son and daughter bow down on their knees and genuflect to him. And he's like, no, I'm married. I got to go back. I mean, we're fighting a war. He's like, he did not want to believe, at least in the cartoon, that he was the chosen one. I do believe in the film Revenge of the Sith, and to an extent Attack of the Clones, that he had some sort of inkling that he was a little more special and more talented than the rest of the Jedi, but I don't know. But that's where we're at. In Ahsoka season 2 is the only live season that they're showing right now. Okay, it is literally the only live season that they're of anything that they're making. And as we know, Mando season 4 is now Mando and Grogu. Anyway, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the stupidity thinking that the Sean Levy movie is real. That was a PR stunt, and everybody knows it. I want to talk a little bit about the fact that it's been so fucking quiet. That's why I think there's something going on. Like the new writer for the Rey movie, nobody cares because nobody believes it. Nobody cares anymore. That's like, all right, I'll give you an example, and then I gotta go. When a coroner has a body, sometimes the body will exhale and sound will come out of their throat. Okay, that's Kathleen Kennedy's era. It's already dead, and this constant Ray shit is the air coming out and passing past the vocal cords, making a sound. That's it. Their body on a corner slab that has exhaled. All right, and it's kind of gross, but there you go. Let's see, I've already seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. I'm not gonna talk about it. I didn't really like it that much. Hey, Jacob. Yeah, it's the terminal death fart. That's exactly what it is. I mean, it's like, can we just go past this now? Why do we? I mean, it's one of those things where you're looking at the people who want it, and you're like, why would you want this? Anyway, all right, I gotta go. Cause I gotta. Oh yeah, I mean, but really, people have heard it. People have heard that. It freaked them out. Okay, they've heard that. And it freaks people out when they hear it. I don't know why, but anyway, it's okay. So I gotta go. Hopefully we'll get a much better idea of what's going on at Lucasfilm this week. Should Sparrow please take the time to put some more out there to Cameron, because it is really quiet. And look, when it gets quiet like this and there's no concrete news, and you got the Sean Levy, Ryan Gosling, George Nolfi, Ray bullshit out there, it gives people like WTW Pro and his cohorts and Nerdrotic and Ryan Cannell and the rest of that garbage too much time to come up with their brand of bullshit. Okay, and to prove to everybody over and over again that they're not fans. Anyway, I gotta go. You guys have a good afternoon. I gotta make dinner, and I'll see you around the galaxy. Oh, and watching criminal illegals that are rapists, murderers, perverts, street gang members from Venezuela get arrested. And they got the head of Tren de Agua in New York today. All right, get that shit off our streets. And if you want to you want to come here legally, go through the proper channels. You can't just hop across a Rio Grande or the Canadian border and say, ta-da, I'm here. Because we will kick you back out. Anyway, I gotta go. I'll see you guys around the galaxy. Behave, be safe. And there. Till next time.